guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Coastline Exotics out in Sarasota, Florida, and guess what? I have one heck of a legend for you. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Nissan GT-R. This one is one of a handful of the Skyline editions. But before we get into this twin turbocharged all-wheel drive supercar killer that they call Godzilla, let's talk about what's going on here. The GT-R, you'd have to be living 20,000 leagues under the sea with Captain freaking Nemo to not know at least a little bit of the history of the GT-R. This car that came about in 1970, that Skyline version, bumped up with steroids, disappeared for a while, came back in 1989 as the R32 generation, and then from there on out, it was legendary status. R32, 33, of course, the most coveted of all, the R34. In the mid-2000s, when they came out with the new R35, it shocked a lot of people. It kind of moved away from that connection with the Skyline. Was it based on a Nissan Skyline that was pumped up with steroids? It was all by itself one big, huge injection of steroids into an all-wheel drive performance vehicle. Now, another surprise was that it was finally available here in the United States. Well, guess what? The demise has come to Godzilla. He's gone the way of the dinosaur, going extinct, and this is the last iteration of that car. But what I want to find out is, for the money, if you want all-wheel drive performance, do you still go with a GT-R? Do you go with a Corvette E-Ray? A little bit different interpretation on performance, but both of them feature all-wheel drive. Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Godzilla and find out. Right off the bat, this very rare Skyline edition, of course, is featured in Bayside Blue. That is the color that the R34 generation made so iconic. At the front of the business, you're going to see that refresh style on the last couple years. Still has that large headlight housing, but I do like the way they run the daytime running lamp. I do have to zonk the old Thomas Edison light bulb in there for your turn signal, and then you have that triple projector LED beam set up on your headlights. Working our way down, we have that refreshed area, more daytime running lamp, like the way they did this lower corner, nothing fake, everything Bayside Blue, and then that metallic painted splitter extension that is on each corner. Now, as we come across that iconic badge, GT-R, so much history, all within 3 letters, fully functional up top, Bayside Blue in the center, and fully functional on the bottom end. The one thing that is a zonk, believe it or not, and it's crazy to think that a GT-R could get some zonks, is that this side is functional, this side is not. That's a zonk. Why they did that is beyond me, but I like the way that they actually take the Bayside Blue front lip and turn that into the splitter, and you just have those metallic black sections on the corners. Other than that, with this refresh, they tried to incorporate the face of the R34 into this final couple years of the R35, and you could really see it in this area. But let me know what you think about the face of this. It's interesting because going back to 2008 when they debuted the car, I kind of still like that design. I felt like that they got it perfect right out the gate. But let me know what you think about the face of this one. Of course, comparing this to an E-Ray, Corvette E-Ray, much more sleek, much more aerodynamic. And then, of course, you have that stealth fighter look with the E-Ray, whereas this is just big, bold, and in your face. I kind of love that. Now, as you rise up, you're going to get your double bulge, double your power, double your bulge. We have the NACA ducts. The whole purpose of these is to flow air into that engine compartment, and it doesn't create a bunch of drag. And I like the way they're painted metallic black. It's not just a simple gloss black where it's gonna get all scratched up. They're actually painted metallic, sparkly black, just like those corner extensions. But the lines of the GT-R on this R35 are just so iconic. I love it. The more I stare at it, the more I wanna drool, and the more I just wanna rub my hands all over it. Now, as we come around the bend, when you go Skyline Edition, you are gonna get these specific raised forged wheels. Love the dark machined aluminum gloss black. 2-piece rotors, massive 16.5-inch rotor with those gold 6-piston Brembo calipers. These are steel rotors, gonna still get great braking capability. If you wanna step up to carbon ceramic brake rotors, you gotta go with a T-Spec or the sister special edition to this vehicle. This one is the Skyline Edition. You would have to go with the Takumi Edition, which is based off of a GT-R T-Spec. But still, these massive pizza-sized rotors, domino pizza-sized rotors with those gold, solid gold 6-piston calipers are gonna do some amazing braking capability for you. Plus the fact that they're 2-piece cuts down on the rotating mass and the heat built up, and they're cross drilled. So you're gonna get that nice fade resistant brake pedal. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of these raised forged wheels? You're looking at 20-inch wheel in diameter up front, 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and we have those Dunlop sticky Super Sport tires. But let me know what you're thinking about the style of the wheel with the Bayside blue. I'm digging it. I like the dark machined aluminum rather than something bright and shiny. Of course, we have the Bilstein adaptive suspension, and we have the all-wheel drive. It's rear-wheel drive based, but we also have power getting sent to the front wheels as well. And unlike the E-Ray, no hybrid technology. There's no electric motors or any of that crap on this GT-R. Now, as we come down the side, I love the way they sculpt the front fender. Steven's gonna swing it around and show you that functional fender vent with a little bit of silver trim and the GT-R badge. Looking good. One of the things that's always blown my mind about the GT-R is just the overall size. It is a big car. E-Ray is gonna be smaller, but it's interesting because if you park an E-Ray next to a McLaren Altura, it makes the E-Ray look like a monster truck. So it really just goes into what kind of style do you want? Do you want that front engine, bigger style with all-wheel drive performance, or do you prefer more of a 2-seat sports car mid-engine experience? But like I said, when it comes to performance, very, very similar. Now, with that beautiful roof line, I love the way they black out the A-pillar. You got Bayside blue painted all over that mirror cap. A little bit of silver on the door handles. I like the way they're flush. And you just pull on that door handle to open up the door. And then that lower side skirt extension tapers in the middle so you don't kick it every time you get in and out of your GT-R. As we work towards our rear, we got a little bit more rubber to meet the road out back. So what you're looking at out back is 285 on the width with that 20-inch wheel, 2-piece rotors. And then, of course, coming around the back, another great body line. There's lots of awesome body lines, especially that rear fender area. Oh my God, it's so sexy. They updated the rear spoiler. You could have your Thanksgiving Day turkey dinner, put the turkey in the center, get your cranberry sauce, some stuffing, some mashed potatoes. Obviously, we gotta have some sweet potato pie, all set up. The quad round taillights. Another iconic piece of GT-R history. Look at the different generations. You're gonna find those round lights. The GT-R badge, of course, and then as we get down to ground level, we do have our titanium quad tip exhaust with this rear-freshed lower rear diffuser, fully functional. Of course, there's panels underneath the car to help flow that air underneath the car, and I just love the width of the rear end. To me, styling-wise, especially at the back, this looks a million times better than the E-Ray. But why don't we go ahead? Let me know in the comment section what you're thinking about the style. Let's go pop the hood of Godzilla and see its beating heart. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I am gonna zonk that. That should have 2 hood struts, but underneath the hood, Like you can see, you got that hand-built badge. Love the classic form of this engine. You could see the 6 individual intake runners because this is a twin turbo V6. We got our twin throttle bodies. Look at the carbon fiber brace that stiffens up the front from one shock top mount all the way to the other side. You see the little wire here? That's for our Bilstein adaptive suspension. But what do we got going on here? That is a 3.8 liter twin turbo V6, twin turbos putting out 565 horsepower, 467 pound-feet of torque, and made it to a 6-speed DCT transmission. Like I said, that all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, quarter mile in 10.8 seconds at 109 miles an hour. So if you owe Dom Toretto a 10-second car, you could give him this GT-R Skyline edition. Top speed, are you ready for this? 205 miles per hour. This is essentially on a platform that barely got updated from its inception all the way to 2024. Crazy. It does weigh, but you know what? So does the E-Ray. It weighs 3,933 pounds. The E-Ray weighs a little bit more than 4,000 pounds. MPGs, 16 in the city, 22 on the highway. We do have a limited slip diff, mechanical limited slip diff, and guess what? This still has hydraulic power steering, which may sound like a bad thing, but it's gonna give you really nice feedback through the wheel. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up the GT-R and see, or at least hear, if the sound matches what this thing looks like. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I do like the simple GT-R badge on the sill plate. Pedal box, nice aluminum brake pedal, throttle, and there is an aluminum dead pedal. You just can't see it under the floor mat that's been added. We do have, like I said, the 2 stages of heated seats. No ventilated seats as a zonk. At this price point, I should have ventilated seats, but the seats themselves are very comfortable. But I'm not gonna argue with you. The interior of the C8 Corvette is definitely on a higher level, but just let it be known that this is premium Napa leather. It's not the same leather that you get in a standard GT-R. Plus the colors are unique to the Skyline edition. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here, and then the steering wheel. I love the two-tone, nice leather, stitching on the horn button, that iconic GT-R badge. Large paddles, but the sad news is the zonk is that they're plastic. Those need to be metal, come on. I also like the way that when you adjust the steering wheel, the whole dash moves with it. That allows you to always have a clear view of the gauges. And me personally, I'm fine with the older look and the analog gauges, especially with the carbon fiber surround, but real easy to see and read. I'm not gonna show you the trunk. Why? Because I don't care about the trunk. You could put some luggage back there, whoopity freaking doo-dah. What I am all about is if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go on throttle in this GT-R. All right, guys, we are inside Coastline Exotics 2024 Nissan GT-R Skyline Edition. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this is one bad mamma jamma. And I'm thinking about just using my kids' inheritance and buying myself a high-performance all-wheel drive supercar or supercar killer. I don't care about them. I want to spoil myself. You only live once. How much is it? The way that this one is optioned, being a Skyline Edition, we're talking about less than one of 200 examples. You're looking right around $132,000. Let's see how it stacks up to the C8 E-Ray to the door panels. I love the way they did the light blue with the white contrast stitching. That Sora blue looks amazing. No gloss black, leather on the door handle. Then you work your way down and it does get old school feel with the carpet and your cargo side net there for your Twinkies. That's to give the E-Ray owners, once you're running the 1 mile drag strip timing, you could give them a Twinkie after you blow their doors off. You got the Bose sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, the two-tone, the leather is really nice. They did a really great job bringing the stitching. And then you slide on in, it gets dated. What am I gonna say? 8-inch infotainment system. I guess technically, that's the same size infotainment system that's on a Corvette E-Ray. But this definitely is old school. I don't like the plastic surround. This should be carbon fiber, but I do love the Gran Turismo design gauges. And you could bring up a cornucopia of different gauges, however you want to have it oriented. Working your way down, you got your AC vents. You do have dual climate control. You got your R switch gear to go full R mode for your suspension, the drivetrain, the handling, the traction. I'll move this guy out of the way for right now. There's your bright red start stop button. This little guy here is going to control your 6-speed dual clutch transmission. Remember, the E-Ray has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Simple Skyline badge. I wish they would have done a little bit more than that. Maybe given me the actual number of the vehicle. So I am going to zonk that, but I love the real deal carbon fiber. Good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake. 2 cup holders with a little bit of a lid. The oldest key fob in the whole auto industry. Moses actually used this when he went on his journeys. So really, really able to tie it back to an early period of time. That's how old this thing is. So when he parted the Red Sea, he actually had that key fob in his pocket. Sora blue softness, open it up. Not a lot of room. Maybe put your Rolex in here. You got 2 USB-As, an aux jack, and a 12 volt. But we do have our BJ's club member card in here. So you could go and get whatever you need, and you got your club member. I guess it would be inappropriate if I said you go get your BJ, but BJ's. That's the name of the store. The seats. Sora blue. The stitching, full electric assist for the passenger with heated seats. Same thing for me on this side, and then Steven's gonna squeeze play in the center here and show you that we have that full back seat area. Nicely done. You're not getting that in an E-Ray. E-Ray is just 2-row. Lots of room in here, but yes, I will admit it's dated. But do I care? Not really. Come on over here to the business end. I wanna show you behind the wheel in this GT-R. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Nissan GT-R, the last. This is it. The last of the GT-Rs, this being the Skyline Edition. I figured what better way to start off the on-throttle drive than with an on-throttle launch control setup. We have everything in full R mode, and it's real simple. Put your left foot on the brake, right foot on the throttle, and if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go! Yeah. I tell you, this car is really gonna surprise you on how it performs. It is one of those cars that, yes, it's heavy, yes, it's big, but man, the performance on it is ridiculous. And if you think about it, that's one of the many reasons why it did not receive a lot of changes from its inception all the way to now. The 6-speed gearbox is very, very fast shifting, whether you're going up the gears or down the gears. And it's a really nice, comfortable environment. Like, the way everything is arranged in here is well done. The way that the seats, the leather, the materials, everything is just really spot on when it comes to comfort but also keeping you gripped in place. There's nice bolstering. Yes, I'm gonna say it again, everything is dated in here, but it gets to the point where I'm more about the driving experience, and this thing provides one hell of a driving experience. The one major thing that I would have Coastline Exotics add to theirs before they rent this out over and over again is to change the exhaust. That's what really lets down this GT-R. But let's go on throttle again, shall we? On throttle, here we go. Look at this. Wow. Feels good in the steering department. Very fast on the downshifts. Look at this. And it's like you look down at the speedometer and you're like, am I in a jet plane? Like, it moves very, very quickly because of just all the power, the grip that you have going around the roundabout here. Look at this. Really, really smooth. That's another thing, like, it builds the power so smoothly because of the smaller twin turbos. There's no boost lag. So very, very interesting. Whereas with the E-Ray, you have that naturally aspirated V8, so you don't have to worry about any lag whatsoever. Plus you have the electric motor. But it's just, how do you want to have your performance? That's the bottom line. They're just two unique ways of developing that performance, of building that performance. How do you want it? And I feel like in this just has that old school feel, but it's just so raw. I love how raw it is. You ready? We're gonna launch it again. 4,000 RPM. On throttle, here we go! Oh my God. The grip, the way it projects you, like you're in a freaking slingshot. Look at this. Good feedback from that hydraulic steering rack system. Not electric, hydraulic. It's just, the sad news is all of the awesome sound that you're hearing is not real. That's the sad bit of news, is that it's not real. It's being pumped in through the sound system. Especially even the things like the pops and the bangs, they're not coming from the exhaust. And to me, that's doing GT-R and Godzilla just a disservice. So like I said, Coastline Exotics, add an exhaust to this, and I think it's gonna rent 20 times more than how it sits right now. But that's just me. But even though the paddles are plastic, the placement of them is ideal. Your hands are always in a good place on the wheel. I just love the rawness of this thing, man. Really, really awesome. Look at this. Very, very smooth, very, very balanced. And you got that all-wheel drive grip. And I love the way that it's rear-wheel drive base and then power gets sent to the front wheels. But what a unique experience that is gone forever. It's gone forever. No more GT-Rs. Yeah, they're talking about maybe an R36 down the road. There's no guarantee. And it might be an EV. So count me out. But I hope that this has been a good kind of on-throttle experience about what this GT-R is bringing the last generation, the last year of this generation, and the Skyline Edition. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. Even though I don't want to, I want to keep driving this thing. We're gonna wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a nanosecond. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways with this 2024 GT-R Skyline Edition. I definitely got to thank Josh over at Coastline Exotics for allowing us access to this vehicle. But it's one of those things. Say what you want. Oh, Joe, you're filming another GT-R. Oh, Joe, you already filmed this GT-R. Oh, Joe, GT-Rs are boring. Say what you want about it, but until you get behind the wheel and go on throttle in this thing, you have no freaking clue what this GT-R is still bringing after all these years. I'm personally going GT-R. Let me know which way you're gonna go in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Right family. Gotta give it up to the Flood man, Stephen Flood. You know, sometimes he loses his direction a little bit, but he always comes back to home base. So thank you, Stephen, for centering yourself. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.